Let's see, what do we have last week?
And we are live. Welcome back, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, all you guys. My name is Sean. I'm a returning citizen. I work here at Wings for Life, as you know. And this is Wings Week in Review. And I have a couple guests with me today. I have Antoinette from Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. I have Raymond Bombo live from Liberia. But first, without further ado, this is Ann Edenfield Sweet. She is the founder of Wings for Life, who made all this possible.
Here we are. Well, we are happy to be here again this week. Boy, we've had another exciting week. We had our speaker Monday night, who did an excellent job. This coming week, this one is the Bill of Rights. And 101, we always talk about the Bill of Rights. What are the Bill of Rights? Okay, maybe we could say, well, they are free speech and the right to do all these things. But how do they really relate? And what I find so interesting, the speaker, we're going to have two speakers. One is a speaker who is an instructor at the University of New Mexico at the law school. And she teaches this course. And then we have a returning citizen or an inmate's a child of a prisoner. I get this straight here. A child of a prisoner. Her father has been in and out of prison her entire life. And because of the legal system, she decided to go to the law school. She is about to graduate. And so we are very eager to hear what she has to say and what motivated her to get into law. And from her perspective as a child of a prisoner, and how difficult it's been, because that's quite a challenge that you have to overcome, but she has overcome it. And so this is going to be really good. So we're not only going to get the Bill of Rights, and we're going to see how do they really relate to us, and what do we really know about them? Because people throw that around, oh, that's Bill of Rights.
My Second Amendment.
Yeah, but that's Second or First Amendment right, or whatever. Well, what are they and how do they really relate? And then also interesting how they relate if you are incarcerated. Because a couple of them it does vary just a tiny little bit. So we're going to learn about that. So anyway, I'm very excited about that. Then let's see, we have a race coming up that is going to be a benefit for us. It's a ninja gym here in Albuquerque. And we are looking for volunteers. Now, a lot of you might not be in Albuquerque, but we need volunteers. It'll be next Saturday. And here's why this is kind of fun. The winners from each of the categories, the top 3 winners in Albuquerque will compete in Las Vegas. I've seen the ads on TV for the Ultimate Ninja race in Las Vegas and how exciting it is. Well, it's going to start with this race next Saturday right here in Albuquerque. So we're going to meet the people that will be competing in Las Vegas for this big event. So that's going to be fun. Then, of course, we are hoping to start up real soon, either the beginning of June, or certainly I hope by the beginning of July, our live Wings for Life educational programs. Of course, during COVID, we have not been able to do that. And we will continue to have them by Zoom and Facebook, and of course, put everything on YouTube. So even if you are not able to be with us, then you'll get to see a whole dining room of all kinds of people and see all the activity and the fun, but then you will be part of it. So we've got a man who has volunteered. He works for and does all the technology for the New Mexico Department of Health. And he's a volunteer in helping us come up with all the equipment that we're going to need to put on a professional show. Sean, we want you to be part of that, learning how to use all that equipment.
That's right.
And so we are going to be doing that as well. So, and then, of course, we can now formally announce that we received $1,222,000 for our New Mexico State Legislature towards the refurbishing, the furnishing, the remodeling, the planning, and putting together a new building for Wings. So in that building, we plan to not only have a place where we can do these podcasts, but we will be doing our Wings Works there. That's our job training program. We've talked about that, and Sean is heading up that.
Train people and hire them and get them going in life.
And that'll be a 4-month job training program. Somebody has given us her 37-year craft business, our Southwest Arts and Crafts. But then we're going to let it open up to anybody that is creative, be able to do anything that they want to do. Of course, we'll have sewing equipment, we'll have painting equipment, beading, lumber, furniture, you name it, whatever anybody wants to do. We won't be able to pay everybody, but we'll have a free place to come and start getting creative. And then we've got somebody currently, we just signed that contract this week too, setting up our website for this Wings Works. Now, also, this is another fun thing that we're doing. If you are an artist out there in the world, anywhere in the world, and you're at home and you're just saying, boy, I put out on Facebook and my grandma and my cousins are buying my beautiful artwork, but nobody else is, send it to us. Let us know about it, because on our website, we are going to also be taking independent artists, jewelers, painters,
you hear that, Kathy from Australia? That could be you.
Australia.
Well, we can help you.
Yeah, we might be able to help you. And send us your stuff. We will only take a 15% commission on that for setting up the website and doing everything. But then you could put all your artwork that you're making and jewelry, whatever in the world it might be, on this website, our Wings Works website, and we'll be able to help you sell all of this product that you're making. And why this is so important is because artists typically are not tech people. Typically, they are not the best salespeople. I've got a son who makes $20,000 tables, but for him to put a website together, he doesn't want to do that. That's not his gift. His gift is making this beautiful, incredible furniture. And so all artists, we want to take away that burden. And so many people are in prison and are so talented. So if we can help them market and get their product out, then they can sit at home, wherever that might be, anywhere in the world, and make that beautiful artwork, and we'll try to sell them for them. And Raymond, we can get artists going in Liberia that could be making things, and we could be selling them for you in Liberia too.
There you go.
So it just depends on the shipping. So anyway, there are all kinds of opportunities coming up here. So there is not a dull moment here in this Wings office. And that's why Wings Week in Review, we need to do this, Sean, every week, because there's so many things going on every single week.
And we're not able to help everyone. That's why every week we have a different guest who could also help you.
That's
so hang tight. We're going to talk to Antoinette from Department of Rehab. She's got some resources and good news for everybody in the country. But we'll get to that.
Well, and then we've got Raymond waiting in Liberia, 6-hour time difference from us here in Albuquerque.
Let me say hello to TJ and Kathy from Australia in the room. TJ says he's got federal sentencing in 13 days. We're going to pray for you, TJ, so that he gets a fair sentence.
And you'll get some hope about what some options are, TJ, when you get out. Because remember, you got to start planning now for the day that you're going to get out. You're not even in yet, but that's part of your job now, is planning for what are you going to do when you get out. And you're going to learn about DVR and all the wonderful programs that they offer.
He's supposed to get less than a year. So you'll be out,
heavens.
And then you come out, and then we can help you.
Yeah.
And we're helping you now, too. You know that, TJ.
Yeah.
Anyways.
So yes, so now you're going to go into.
Was that?
Oh, you want me to introduce Raymond?
I was going to see. Was there anything else you had to? I mean,
no.
Did we get it all out?
We had a board meeting call early this morning from Liberia, and Raymond puts in long days just like I do. Now it's late at night in
9 o'clock
Liberia.
over there in Africa, and he's.
But Raymond, tell us about everything that's going on, and tell them they won't know the community, but you're about. 7,500 miles from Monrovia in Grand Bassa?
So currently I'm in Grand Bassa, where you came to visit the prison facility. That is in the southeast part of Liberia. And that place is almost like 100 miles away from the capital city. It's a very far distance. When you came, you slept here along with your U.S.
Oh, sure, of course. But for people here, they won't know. That name, Grand Bassa. Tell them what you're doing over there.
So currently, I'm here to have a couple of meetings with some religious leaders, basically from the Christian background. And tomorrow, I got a meeting with the prison superintendent. We want to give them an update on what we are doing in Monrovia, because basically we want when people leave, when they are released from prison, they can come to our program, whereas they can learn various skills like the carpentry furniture skills we are trying to offer. the air conditioner and all of those things that they can do that will help them to become uh, somebody reliable, or somebody that is more supportive, instead of committing more crimes, you know, in the long run, and becoming recidivists. So that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to see how we can help spread the news and help minimize crime from our country. So this is something that I regularly do. I move from one place to another, and this day is for Grand Bassa particularly.
Yes, and so for the rest of the world that is not familiar with Liberia, Raymond contacted me years ago now, and in January of 2020, prior to COVID, thank heaven we got over there. And Raymond, and then a U.S. team of volunteers, and he had a great, huge team of Liberian volunteers. We went to 6 various prisons, men and women's prisons, and we did our family days in the prisons, and then we did some educational programming out in the communities like we do too. And now Raymond has really expanded that programming. He still is going back to the prisons, but now he has signed a 30-year lease on a building that they are going to do job training there, same kind of thing that we're going to be doing here, except he's going to be doing, he's using woodworking and making all kinds of small pieces of furniture and things. Sure. But they need some help over there. They need help from Liberians and from the rest of us. Every $5 will really help. And so he is setting up this facility to be a job training site for people coming out of prison in Liberia, and for people to give them a place to go to work before they hopefully never go to prison. So, and of course, that's what we're going to be doing here too. So Raymond, you're doing really wonderful work. How can people support you from different parts of the world?
Well, let me interrupt. I have Venmo and Cash App on this up here, and if you want to $1, $3, $5, whatever, Venmo or Cash App, we'll put a little note that it's for Liberia and it's tax deductible.
Yeah,
and we'll take care of all that paperwork stuff for you.
Yeah.
So they're up here on the side chat room. Cash App or Venmo, guys, or call our number down below. Go to the website. We have a few different ways. Just make sure you put that it's for Liberia, okay?
Yeah, I think basically you
Raymond.
Yes, you said it. We want all of our support to be something that is passed through the U.S. You cannot easily get money over to us here until you pass it through the head office of Wings for Life International. And Annie's there. She's a credible person. Yeah, once you make that donation, she's going to make sure and send it over to us. We're going to appreciate everyone that sent their donation. We need it. There's something that will help transform the lives of a lot of young people. Liberia is a country that have so many restrictions when it comes to getting jobs. So we want to create that atmosphere where as people can work and become reliable, become supportive to their family. Getting financial strain here is a difficult thing. So if we can get job training for these guys, make sure they can learn how to make various furniture, make sure they can learn different kinds of skills, they will automatically avoid crime. Because most of them will be interviewing, they will always tell us that this is not something we want to continue doing. So once we have something reliable, I don't think we're going to get involved with this. That's what they tell me. And I think, and I want to agree with them, because that's something I experienced. I've been to prison and I know the experience I had it. So with that, I know if we train these guys, we give them the skills, we support them in all manner, they will not easily get back involved into crime.
And Liberia is one of the very poorest countries in the world. And I have been in prisons in a lot of foreign countries, and I have never seen anything like the prisons in Liberia.
That bad, huh?
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I mean, India doesn't compare.
Oh, really?
Oh, no. Wow. Liberia is far worse. Wow. Far worse. And we always think about India.
Yeah,
some of the,
I would have guessed India's the
worst.
Yeah.
No, India actually had some pretty spacious quarters compared to Liberia has no space at all.
Yeah, here the overcrowdedness is very huge. you find people sitting knee to bike and no space for even realization. Most
You
times,
can't sleep. Yeah, when they cross
you
their legs
you
to
can't
sit
sleep.
down, there's no
Yeah,
space on the floor.
Wow. Yeah, I know. We
if
talked
I
about
if
People
I
have to stand to sleep at night. Others stand while people lay down to be able to sleep for a few hours. It's not a pretty picture. So we need to help. And Raymond was falsely accused, spent a weekend in prison, and now he has a calling the rest of his life to be able to help people, because he saw how awful it was. And so many people, just like in our systems too, are sitting in jails and they haven't had a chance to be heard yet. And maybe they aren't even, they've just been charged with something. And that happens for so many people in Liberia. But by the time they've been in those prisons for years, they've gone blind. They've had that half a cup of rice a day.
Sure. So Raymond, that weekend in jail or prison, what turned out to be a miracle. Look what you've done with it.
So Raymond's doing great work, everybody. So and for you going to our federal prison, you are going to a Hilton. So instead of looking at it like, oh no, I'm going to prison, look at it, I'm going to the Hilton, because believe me, if you were going to a prison in Liberia, it would be a whole different ball game. You would not want to be going to a prison in Liberia. So so anything that anybody can do to help would be great. So
Raymond, I don't want to keep our guests waiting too much longer. Do you have any last words for
right.
the world out there? Anything else?
Well,
no.
Well, I think it's better we take the guests. I will be on the background and listening. Importantly, what I would want from the audience is to see how best they can help support us.
Okay.
We need their 1 cent, the 2 cent, the $5, whatever they can do. Let them pass it through and she's going to get it over to us here. We are estimating something around 10,000 plus to have that building renovated so we can enter and start our work as one. We already have someone who donated a huge tools, carpentry related tools to us from he's in the US there as well. He's in Greenville. That's in South Carolina or something. I'm not familiar with the US, but he's in Greenville, and he happens to be the founder and executive director of a nonprofit called Soteria CDC, Soteria Development Corporation, and he made a huge donation to us, and that will be a tremendous difference, and help to transform the lives of men and women that are coming from jail. So, not to take all of your time, I will let you to take a guess.
You'll be back next week, right? We're going to have you on every week, right? Okay, great.
Right.
All right. Well, you have a wonderful night in Africa.
Thanks, Raymond.
All
right. I'm not going to kick you off. You could stay on, Raymond. I'm just going to switch to the one screen. And Antoinette, thank you so much for your patience. Thank you for patiently sitting by. Everyone, this is Antoinette. She's from the Department of Vocational Rehabilitation. Did I say that right? Or a division of? Division of. Okay. Mm-hmm. So let me introduce Antoinette to you guys.
Hi, everyone. My name is Antoinette. I am with the Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. I am a field operation director for our program, and I'm glad to talk about it today.
So maybe you can tell everyone what DVR is. I mean, in some states, I think it's called Department of Rehab, or there's different names for it, but aren't they basically the same, or am I wrong?
Right. So every state has a vocational rehabilitation program. Here in New Mexico, we are under the Department of Public Education, but across the country, you might find your vocational rehabilitation program with the Health and Human Services, maybe with the Workforce Agency. They sometimes are connected with different entities. Here, like I said, we are a division of Department of Education. So that's how it works here.
And I'll just throw in a little bit, and then I'm going to go and turn this totally over to you. But for all of you listening, we have had several folks who have come through the division here, DVR. And in fact, our webmaster started out that way. And she came in, and she was a real sharp woman. And so she was working on our computers, and then she expressed a little interest in saying, well, your website needs to be updated. And I said, well, yeah, it does. But I don't know what to do about that. And she said, well, let me see what I could do. And then she started talking to the person she was working with at DVR. And long and short of it is that you all helped her get a computer.
That's how it happened.
Yes, a computer, a screen, even a desk, because she didn't have a desk at home. You helped her with all of that. Then she knew nothing about website development. And they were going to send her to school for 6 months to a website training. And she said, well, I don't think it'll take all of that. So she, on her own, found a tutor for her. And they said, well, you can get 10 hours of tutoring. She only took 2 hours of tutoring. And now she is as happy as could be. And we are thrilled because she has done an incredible job with us on our website. If you go to our website, it's all of her wonderful work. And it all started because you and staff at your agency believed in her. And I know you believe in so many others. And but that's one real current success story
that's one
that we had. And so I want to let you know. So those of you that have loved ones incarcerated, those going to prison, this is a wonderful program. So really pay attention to it because they have so many resources and they help so many people. And I can't say enough about it.
Well, that's good to
So
hear.
yes.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go and let you guys talk. But
Okay.
anyway, I wanted to
Thank
put
you,
that plug in.
Yeah,
Okay.
so first I wanted to ask you, what is DVR? And then I wanted to ask you who qualifies.
Right. So vocational rehabilitation is established to help individuals with disabilities to obtain employment. And so who qualifies for our program are going to be individuals who have a physical or mental disability. And we are an eligibility-based program. We're not an entitlement program. So you do have to qualify for our services through an eligibility determination process.
Okay, that almost sounds complicated. If I was listening and I heard all that, I might not want to. Is it difficult or is it hard?
It's not a complicated process, but it is a process. And so basically, what we need to identify is that there is a disability that exists. We work through assessing the individual, identifying records, looking at the diagnosis, and then coming to understand how our program can work with that individual to obtain employment. And so all of our services are based around identifying appropriate employment for the individual. But again, the individual does have to be eligible for services.
So I had the impression that you help someone maybe in a residential drug treatment program that just graduated. Does that qualify? Or someone coming out of a prison or an
what
institution?
would qualify is the disability. We're always going to look to the disability, the diagnosis, to determine if there is one. If somebody applies, and we've had situations where they're not sure, maybe they can recall receiving, special education services in elementary school or high school, and they just don't really have an official diagnosis. We will help them to get assessed to determine if there is a disability. If so, we will send an individual off for that assessment and support through that. But basically, the qualifying factor is an individual with a disability.
So people coming out of prison, I understand a lot of people go to you from coming out of prison. Is that a disability in itself? Or
so having a felony charge is not a disability in and of itself. Again, it's mental or physical disability diagnosed by a licensed provider. Individuals that do come to our program that maybe have been released from being incarcerated are individuals that qualified because we were able to obtain information about a diagnosis, and there definitely was a disability. So an individual that is currently incarcerated, we would not open a case for that individual because somebody does have to be available to receive services. So when an individual is released, they definitely can come to our program or do a referral, and we will reach out to them and then start that process.
Does drug addiction or alcoholism count as a disability?
They are disabilities. We follow obviously the ADA and what the definitions of disability
say alcoholism is a disease. I don't know if they're still saying that, but
the main thing there is that we will ask that somebody is actively in treatment. and that they are stable for employment, because we are an employment-based agency. We do need somebody that can be ready for work, that can go and to a work site and pass a drug screen and be stable for employment, be seeking the resources and the services to maintain that stability, so that we can promote them for employment and a placement.
And if somebody wants to apply, can they start with just a phone call or going to the website, or is there
our website is probably the best place to start.
Can they show up at your office?
Our offices are currently open.
Okay.
We're not what we call a hybrid schedule. We don't have all staff in the offices at all times, but our offices are open Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. Somebody could stop in. The website, like I said, is probably the best place to start. We have an online referral on our website, and somebody can fill that out 24/7, and we will receive that referral and get back with that individual to get them started through the process or answer any questions that they might have. Our website also has an orientation video that will explain somewhat of this process. It's about a little under 8 minutes long, and it gives lots of information about what a person might expect at their first appointment, as well as explaining what our vocational rehabilitation counselors do and how the VR process works.
Okay. Let me catch up on some comments and stuff here. And I see there's one or two about you. Kathy, TJ and Kathy, I know I said hello. Tom is in the room. He says, good job, guys. Here's something I saw. Einstein says, this program is called OVR in Pennsylvania, Occupational Vocational Rehabilitation. Addiction is considered a disability. I'll let you take that one if you want to comment.
We definitely will acknowledge that that is a disability, but like I said, we're going to ask for active supports in treatment. But yes, having a drug alcohol disability is a disability. We do look for if there's any dual diagnosis or any additional disabilities also, so that we're looking at a holistic picture of the individual. So again, it's a process to go through eligibility.
Having been in prison myself, there's plenty of dual addictions, plenty of that going on. People, hey, we got 11 people in the room. Katrina says hi there. And Kathy, that's the one from Australia. She says hi, Katrina. Katrina says Jason got out of quarantine early. It was overcrowded and he's been vaccinated. Okay, out of quarantine. Her son is in prison. And Kathy D says, awesome. Katrina, programs in or near Jackson, Michigan with a question mark. I don't know if you know that.
I don't know that I could direct you there, but like I said, every state does have a VR program. You should reach out to determine what and where you can find their information. I would direct that they probably do have a website as well, and are connected to probably some type of workforce, health, and human services department, if not their public education department.
I think somebody from your department is on because they left this. They've got the website. It says New Mexico Division of Vocational Rehabilitation. Your boss is watching you. She's doing a great job, guys. She's doing a great service.
Is this our link too?
It doesn't have a name. They're on Facebook.
Right. The referral is on our website, like I said, and what that really does is initiate the process for somebody that is interested in the program. We have several offices across the state of New Mexico.
Okay.
When somebody does a referral, that referral is directed to the office that is the closest to the person that and the address that they use on the referral. So we're all over the state.
Okay. There's another question here, and then I have a few more to ask you. Gary Peterson, and it looks like this is for you. Hi, if a person is employed and they have a disability, can they come in to get qualified under DVR? I may have a contract that hires disabled individuals. Some of us qualify but haven't been enrolled in your program officially. I think that's for you.
So we do help individuals that are employed that are needing to stabilize in their employment. So somebody definitely could come through the process even if they already hold a job. But many times somebody could be in jeopardy of losing their position because of their disability and the barriers that are presented in their workplace. We definitely would want to support that individual if the goal is really to maintain the job. We are available, so somebody should just come through.
Okay. Yeah, they're starting. Now we got 12 people in the room. I got a JD out there, and he says, I recently got out of federal prison and will have to get an interlock license. Do you provide any assistance with getting a driver's license? Good question.
In some situations, we have supported with that, but I will say this. Every participant that we work with, through that eligibility process and through the future planning of case planning of services, it is very individualized and very unique. So it's difficult to answer kind of a blanket statement like we'll always do this or we'll always do that. It really is going to be dependent upon the person, what the employment goal is, what their specific disabilities are, and incorporating all that into a functional plan for employment to get them to a place of employment.
Okay.
So it's just it's really great that we can provide so many services, but they're really built on fundamentals about the individual and what they need to achieve that goal.
Okay. Look, there's more people starting to ask you questions. Gary Peterson, thanks for your answer. This Einstein, he spells it with an I, like Einstein, but in PA, that's Pennsylvania, right? This program will pay for you to start your own business as well. And that was one of the questions I was going to ask you later on, if you help people start their own business at all.
We do help individuals that are interested in doing self-employment, small business. We do have lots of individuals that have unique ideas. I know that you all spoke about a lot of the programs that you're starting here seem kind of artistic related and painting and
we're just getting off the
crafting
ground, though. We can need any support or help you could, send our way.
Sometimes when we go through this process, an individual, this turns to be the best avenue for them to have suitable and stable employment. So we do have a self-employment process that we go through with them. Every state is a little different, so it's how they build their self-employment process. But overall, the takeaway is that self-employment is going to be sustainable for an employment goal, that somebody is having a profitable business that, considering their own wages, they're at least making minimum wage based on what they're putting in and expenses, etc., from their self-employment.
You would hope if you have your own business, you at least make that. But sometimes in the beginning, you may not at first. Right. Another question for you. I think it's for you. Katrina says, does New Mexico have any rules that prevent discrimination of felons for housing rentals, no sex crime or drug crime?
I don't know if I have a specific answer to
that.
I
don't know that answer either.
I know it's harder for people that commit sex crimes to get housing.
Yeah, Mary in the back is saying she knows it's harder for people with sex crimes to get housing, and sometimes jobs too. They'll look you up on these on those what's that, Amber? No, there's a website. You guys know, but that can be really held against you. Drug crimes too. Sometimes not. The apartments I live in, they did a criminal background check on me, and if you have any drug crime history, they won't rent to you, or sex crime. So that was just to get an apartment. So
I can't really speak for any other agencies on their screening process.
And then everyone should hit the like button on here. Thank you. So one of my questions I want to ask you is what do you guys actually help with? Because I've heard things you can help with a bus pass. Over the years I've heard. So tell me if these are myths or rumor. Okay. You can help somebody buy a car.
That is a myth. We do not help somebody purchase a vehicle.
Okay, get them a bus pass.
Transportation sometimes comes into the picture. We definitely have done bus pass supports before. But I want to say in Albuquerque, I think riding the bus is going to be free.
Now it's free now.
So And I also know that some of the local colleges provide bus passes as well. We will always look to a comparable benefit to help us in case planning for an individual. So sometimes it's us, sometimes it's another resource or another provider. But yes, bus passes are something we have helped with.
Say I want to join the carpenters union as an apprentice or the plumbers union as an apprentice, that you guys can help me get in there. You'll pay for all my tools and buy all my equipment and boots and clothing. Are these myths or true?
So again, I'm going to say that based on the person, what they want to do, how we establish that plan, there's a possibility that if that was the vocational goal for that person, that we would be supportive of tools and training and the items needed to get that point of employment to be a success. But it's not an overall blanket, we do that for every situation. Again, it's really just going to be based on what is this individual's unique issues, what are the impediments to employment, what are their functional limitations. Sometimes somebody has a particular idea for a vocational goal, but then looking to the medical side of things or the mental health side of things, it's maybe not going to be attainable in the way that they once thought it was going to be. And so what we do is we really work with them to take incremental steps towards case planning. And that may mean something different. And so it's difficult in any case to say this is everything we do. What I can say that we do is we work with that person to identify those so that we can help in the best way that we can.
I've heard if I want to go to truck driving school, you can help me with that and get my Class A license and any tools I need for that.
Right.
Or if I want to go to culinary school and become a chef, you can help with that and give me the knives and the tools. And are these myths? Or
these are definitely, these sound like vocational goals that were realistic and were supported through the program. Yeah. That's what that sounds like. And that can definitely happen based through that assessment. It definitely could.
I've heard you could help people get their criminal record expunged. Is that a myth?
That's a myth.
That's a myth. Okay. What was the other one? You can help people get a computer to do job search and go to college and things like that. A laptop or
many times that's a possibility. We look to resources. We have a program here locally back in use. We through the Adelante program, and they offer refurbished computers to many people. I don't even think you have to be a participant of DVR, but we also look to that, and that may be some of that stuff that you're referring to. Yeah. But again, it's all just going to be based around that vocational goal, like what is needed and what's necessary to obtain that vocational goal. In some cases, it's very different. If you are doing culinary, that's going to look much different than somebody who's doing carpentry or somebody who is doing, engineering or something completely different. So all of those things could potentially happen, but it's all just going to be based on the individual situation.
Do you have like a resource? Let's say I qualify, but I don't know what I want to do with my life. Do you have options? You can help me pick which road to go down?
Yeah, that's one of our primary things that we do at DVR is that we help with career exploration.
Okay, there's career exploration.
Yes,
that's what I was trying to think.
Many people walk through the door and they don't know what it is that they want to do. Right. They know they want to do something. They might have an idea of what they like or things that interest them, but then we will take them through that process of career exploration and really try to scale down to and pinpoint where do you see yourself being successful? Like, here's some options based on what you've told us, and how can we work with what's available? And, we look at labor market, we look at statistics there, we look at, just the realization, are we going to run into any licensing issues because of background? Are we going to look?
Yeah, that was one of my licenses. Do you help with that or fees or
stuff like that? We're going to take a look at all of that. And then, really to help that person determine this is where I want to go. This is a suitable job, and then we'll start planning from there on what services, again, would be helpful and necessary to reach that goal.
Sure. Okay. Let's see if I caught up on all these. This last one. TJ, really hope you get self-surrender. That's the guy that's getting ready to get sentenced. We can't help you till you get out, but call me TJ. I've been helping him get ready to go to prison, believe it or not. That's what my other channel is. In the federal system, people are out on pretrial bail like for years
Right.
before they get sentenced, and it's the scariest thing in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Knowing you got to go to prison, but they're letting you walk the streets,
Yeah.
and nobody thinks you're going to prison because you're walking around, and they want you to have a job and do normal things in life. And I can't. You can't even start a relationship or start any. You don't want to. You're so, and you don't know how much time you're going to get. Or you're going to get. It's the scariest thing to go through. So. That's some of these people from my channel. So I help people out that way. That's how I ended up here with Wings for Life. So, and saw my channel about a year ago, huh, Mary?
Yep.
Long story short, here I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm out of questions. Do you have some more things you would like to talk about?
No, I know that we've worked real closely with federal probation, to get referrals. I think that there's been some work with the workforce department as well, to help individuals that are getting released to get back to employment. And we might be able to help you as well. But again, some key things to take away from this is that you do have to have a disability in order to qualify for our program. We can help through that assessment if needed. And you have to be available to participate in the program.
Okay.
And that means that you are released and you're able to go to work should we find you a job.
Okay. All right. Well, if that's that, any last questions from the audience? Let's see. Next week, I can't remember who I got on the show. I can't remember. I wrote it down. I just scheduled.
Raymond.
Yeah, I have Raymond. Raymond will be here next week, but I have a really good guest. I can't remember who it is. Anyways, Antoinette, I want to thank you so much for coming in. And anything that Wings for Life could do for help you guys out in your office, just give us a call. And
Great, thank you.
And if we have some people we think qualify, we'll send them your way.
Yeah, thanks for helping to clear up those myths.
Yeah, you bet. So thank you very much. Okay. Yeah. And I guess that's about it. So we'll see you next week, guys. Same time, same channel. Thanks for viewing.